Good evening and welcome to the main news on Muvi television. The headlines. President Hichilema assents Bill 7 into law, calls for unity and inclusive governance. Terrorism charge added in Chingola presidential attack case. DEC arrests 5 FRA staff over 770,000 kwacha maize fraud. Health workers recruitment open to all as government scraps old database. With the news in detail, my name is Kondwelani Jose. President Hakainde Hichilema has officially assented into law the newly passed Bill 7 into law. Speaking during the signing ceremony in Lusaka, the president emphasizing that the intention behind the constitutional amendment was to build on the country's fundamental laws and include those who have been excluded rather than excluding others, making a call for unity and cooperation and emphasizing the importance of inclusive and respectful discussion. He also highlights the importance of respectful and constructive debate in a democratic society, emphasizing that debates can be lively and intense, but should remain professional and respectful without resorting to personal attacks or dishonesty. The president also stressed the importance of accepting and embracing constitutional amendments as part of a democratic process, highlighting the need to prioritize pressing issues like food security and the welfare of vulnerable populations, such as children. The president has also called on the people to continue to work together to build a stronger, more prosperous future for Zambia. However, he dismissed claims that the constitutional amendments were intended to extend his presidential term, saying such allegations were false and aimed at misleading the public and sowing division. And Vice President Mutalena Lumango encouraged the people of Zambia to approach the bill and constitution with an open mind and read it objectively without being swayed by politics, urging the president to lead the people and implement the constitution in a fair and just manner.
Let's take our minds there now and leave this debate. It's done legally through our constitutional democracy. That's how we resolve problems. And me, who was against continuing with by-elections, you have seen me signing, I own this amendment. So even those who had under the constitutional democracy and the laws and rules of our country for order, not for chaos, you must accept that this is your amendment.
Everyone has been looking forward to, as you have always reminded us, this constitution is about of Zambia, and you insisted that the voices of the Zambian people will be the one to carry the end of the day. And indeed, through their members of parliament, Mr. President, more than 82% unprecedented to vote for Bill 7 because they saw the change that was to come to the youths, to the women, to the people with disabilities. So clap for yourselves, Zambia. Clap for yourselves, youths. Clap for yourselves, women. Your members of parliament, on your behalf, they have delivered a document that will make this country better representation, equal distribution of resources, equitable distribution, and indeed, equal representation when it comes to be in the House.
Zambian people, in speaking to this bill that you have just assented to today, Zambians, listen carefully. My plea before I ask the President to address you is now, breathe, relax, read the bill with objectivity, not in the eyes of politics. Read with objectivity, the Constitution rather, not the bill. Read the Constitution with objectivity, and we look forward to the implementation. Mr. President,
Chililabombwe Mayor Lucky Sichone has called for increased resources to support special interest groups following the enactment of the Bill 7. Mr. Sichone says the new law is expected to enhance representation for youths, women and persons with disabilities in Parliament, giving them a stronger voice in national decision-making. He notes that the legislation presents an opportunity to craft lasting solutions to challenges faced by people with disabilities in both urban and rural communities across Zambia. The mayor has further urged authorities to channel adequate resources to newly created constituencies to boost social and economic development in communities such as Chililabombwe.
We are going to witness something unprecedented that we've never seen. For instance, women's voices will be heard now in Parliament through their representatives. Okay? The youth, their main concerns, their challenges, their cries will be dealt with and heard in Parliament through their representatives. People, our brothers and sisters, who live with all kinds of issues like, I'm trying to talk about disabilities. They'll also be represented because they'll have their own desk, they will be represented there so that their issues are dealt with right here. You understand? Unlike parliamentarians just trying to make decisions on behalf of people who are not present. Issues of delimitation, of course, amongst others that have just been talked about. This is something that is unprecedented. We want to see more representation in Parliament, meaning more allocation of resources to various districts, meaning more.
Central Province Minister Mwabashike Nkulukusa has expressed confidence that the ongoing delimitation process under the Bill 7 will translate into increased development and improved service delivery across the country. Speaking to the Muvi TV News in Lusaka, Mr. Nkulukusa says delimitation is expected to attract more resources, particularly to rural areas that have long lagged behind in development. He further projected a positive economic outlook next year, citing stronger copper performance on the international market. The Katuba lawmaker has since urged citizens to actively and meaningfully participate in the 2026 general election, emphasizing the importance of public involvement in shaping Zambia's democracy.
The people of Katuba constituency and the people of Zambia that 2026 looks brighter. We are starting on a very good note. The economy seems to be recovering very well. And of course, we are moving into a period of elections where we are going to see more constituencies. Thanks to the passing of Bill 7, we are going to see 70 more constituencies, meaning there will be more development. 70 by whatever amount of CDF that is going to go into those constituencies means there will be enhanced development, more especially in the rural areas. I want to encourage
the Ministry of Health has opened the ongoing health workers recruitment exercise to all eligible applicants after scrapping the previously used database, a move aimed at promoting fairness, transparency and efficiency. Minister of Health Elijah Muchima says the decision gives a fresh opportunity to health workers who were previously left out, allowing every qualified applicant to compete for the 2,000 positions on offer. Dr. Muchima announced the development when the Resident Doctors Association of Zambia paid a courtesy call on him following concerns that past recruitment exercise relied on outdated records. Is determined to correct the anomalies while managing financial constraints, including obligations to the International Monetary Fund through a phased recruitment. Meanwhile, the Residents Doctors Association of Zambia President Paul Chiwe has welcomed the move, describing it as a confidence booster for medical professionals who who felt excluded in previous recruitment processes and called for fairness, accountability, and support for doctors involved.
Part of the association, we speak on the quality of healthcare that we give to the people of Zambia. We thought far from the doctor-patient ratio that we're supposed to adhere to in order to improve the quality of healthcare. And your response was 2025 we're going to recruit 2,000 healthcare workers, and this was to speak to a peaceful space within government. And we took this and we communicated with our members to say this year will be recruitment, 2,000 recruitment of healthcare workers, and the next year there will be 2,500 recruitment of healthcare workers. Honorable Minister, we're here. First of all, we commend this government. There's continuous dismantling of the backlog of the numbers that have been pending on the streets, starting from the 11,000.
Let's go because the issue of recruitment will resolve. Is my witness. We resolved, isn't it? We put and I gave instructions, and nobody has ever changed those instructions. The form they finish there, those instructions will stand, and for the figures, they will stand, and we are bringing it. I don't know what to move. And there's not no recruits. It's public service commission. Let's not punish an innocent person. Let's not involve people innocent. We are here. Others will be employed this year. Others will be employed for the next year. Depending if we have more money, I will employ more. And if where the president is trying to do things without, you'll be smiling. We wish him good luck. The president has doing whatever is doing possible. This is the ministry where he has put his head on the table. Manufacturing, you are hearing him all the time, is the biggest budget. We're at 21 billion. This time today we're speaking, we are on 24 billion.
The Federation of Free Trade Unions of Zambia has confirmed a deadlock in salary negotiations with government following another failed round of talks on improved salaries and conditions of service. FFTUZ Secretary General Nelson Mwale has since appealed to union members to remain calm, stating that engagements with government are still ongoing despite the negotiations being postponed for the third time this year due to disagreements over the employer's offer. Mr. Mwale says the latest talks have now been deferred to January 19, 2026 to allow for both parties further consultations as efforts continue to find common ground on the bargaining terms.
November, we actually went on recess because government asked they consult further from the principals on issues where we could not agree. And so we met today to simply defer the negotiations again so that government is given enough time. The government bargaining team is given enough time to consult further because what came on the table, as trade unions, we are not comfortable. And so we asked government to continue consulting so that the negotiations can resume on 19th December, January 2026. But our appeal to the membership there is that can they remain calm? We are making progress with government. The reason for accepting the deferment is that government brings on the table an offer that will make the membership happy. Remember that the law provides for extension of the collective agreement. So it has been extended up to March, but March is very far. Within January, we should be able to conclude, and that our workers, whatever will be agreed upon, in an event that we agree a bit late, if there will be a month or so behind, whatever will be offered must be paid, retrospective as arrears, because at the end of the day, our people must not miss out anything in terms of paying. So we are appealing again to the membership, men come, because at the end of the day,
The Chingola Subordinate Court has granted an application by the National Prosecution Authority to amend the indictment against 34 accused persons linked to the November 8, 2025 incident in which stones were thrown at President Hakainde Hichilema in Chingola. The amended charge sheet now includes terrorism, an offense that is non-bailable under Zambian law and attracts a mandatory life sentence upon conviction. The case arises from unrest that erupted during the president's public address in Chiwempala, prompting swift intervention by security personnel. Prosecutors say the amendment follows a careful review of the evidence and is intended to ensure the law adequately addresses acts that threaten public order and the safety of the head of state. The Drug Enforcement Commission has arrested 5 employees of the Food Reserve Agency for allegedly falsifying official records to steal maize valued at more than 770,000 kwacha. DEC says the suspects forged FRA statements of account and duplicated goods issue notes to make it appear that large quantities of white maize had been issued to the Zambia National Service when in fact no such supplies were released. The alleged offenses were committed between April 1, 2024 and December 10, 2025 in Monze and Mumbwa districts of Southern and Central. Statement, DEC Public Relations Officer Alan Tamba said all suspects have been released on bond and are expected to appear in court, warning that anyone found engaging in fraudulent activities will be arrested and prosecuted in accordance with the law. The Zambia Correctional Services ZCS Commission has commended Luapula Province for its strong support to correctional facilities and urged other provinces to emulate the model to enhance inmate welfare, rehabilitation, and food security. ZCS Commission person Evaristo Kalonga said during a courtesy Evans Sikabuba that the Commission was impressed with how correctional officers in Luapula are rehabilitating inmates through agriculture, skills training, and improved living conditions. Mr. Kalonga noted that government has demonstrated commitment to inmate welfare countrywide by improving access to running water and sanitation, adding that Luapula has distinguished itself by ensuring Constituency Development Fund CDF support reaches correctional institutions in Nsamfya, Mansa, Mwense, and Kawambwa. He praised the expansion of correctional farms in the province, saying the initiative is boosting food production, imparting practical skills to inmates, and supporting national food security. Mr. Kalonga also disclosed that the Commission is addressing staffing challenges and decentralizing selected human resource function to all promotions, transfers, and appeals to be handled closer to the officers. Meanwhile, Skabuba welcomed the Commission and assured it of the provincial administration's continued cooperation, saying Luapula will remain fully supportive of programs aimed at strengthening the Zambia Correctional Service and improving the welfare of both officers and inmates. He further highlighted the service's contribution to agriculture and successful inmate rehabilitation, noting that many former inmates are leaving facilities with practical skills that enable them to become productive and self-reliant citizens, while appealing for increased investment in staff accommodation, office space, and dormitories to address congestion and aging infrastructure.
We have discussed with the command. Most of our facilities are understaffed nationally. However, the representative of the Commissioner General has assured us that this matter soon will be addressed, although not completely, but we'll keep on addressing the shortage of staff. So our appeal is to the madam there from Cabinet Office to see what they can do to facilitate Treasury Authority, maybe for a recruitment of a certain number of correctional officers to address this staff shortage that we have found here in Wakura and elsewhere. But
Provincial administration for Wakura province, we have been interacting very well with the Zambia Correction Service. They are running the government ranch, Chishinga Ranch in Kawambwa. It was going down. But when the commission came in, the ranch has peaked. And we are seeing animals, they have started increasing. To us,
the Zambia Institute of Mass Communication, ZAMCOM, Executive Director Kennedy Mwila, says the institution remains committed to providing quality training and commercially sustainability environment. Speaking during a media breakfast in Osaka Wednesday morning, Mr. Mwila acknowledged UNICEF and the Zambian government support towards the institution in providing journalism and media communication training in Zambia. Mr. Mwila has since reaffirmed ZAMCOM commitment to providing professional media training to meet the modern standards of journalism in the competitive world. He was speaking during a media breakfast on strategic engagement aimed at unveiling the Institute's new programs, innovations, and expansion initiatives for 2026.
We are committed to enhancing ZAMCOM thrive as in a mutable environment. We must operate not only as a training institution, but also as a modern, dynamic media enterprise. As we approach 2026, our wish is to usher in a number of developments aligned with these strategic pillars that I've just mentioned. Among them, actually, is the launch of the ZAMCOM Business Center and Hub. Sustainability is no longer optional. And as a reputable, responsible public institution, we aim to lead by example. Therefore, we will adopt environmentally friendly practices for resource use and integrate sustainability principles into our operations and training programs. We also have heard about political and electoral reporting with a special focus on ethical and accurate election coverage.
The World Bank, through the Zambia Education Enhancement Project, ZIP, has officially handed over 82 newly constructed secondary schools to the Ministry of Education, marking a major milestone in the expansion of access to secondary education across the country. Speaking during the handover ceremony held at Sikongo Secondary School, Minister of Education Douglas Hyakulima says the first phase of the project, valued at $60 million United States dollars, resulted in the construction of 82 fully functional secondary schools across 7 provinces. Mr. Hyakulima reaffirmed government's commitment to increased access to quality education for all Zambian children. Meanwhile, World Bank Country Manager Akim Fok said the project is not only improving access to education, but also strengthening education data management systems to support effective planning and service delivery.
Fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, the government is clear and resolute. Education is not a privilege, it is a right. Education, as our President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, keeps reminding us, is an equalizer. Through education, a rural child can excel in life and become a president, minister, a renowned lawyer, a university professor, and a top bank executive. It is for this reason that working with our cooperating partners such as World Bank, we have deliberately invested in underserved and rural communities where education exclusion has for far too long limited opportunity and prosperity.
And students, it's a real pleasure for me to be here this morning with all of you and celebrate the launch and the opening of this school, which is already working very well, and 81 additional schools all over the country that were supported by the Zambia Education Enhancement Project. The project is led and implemented by the government of Zambia through the Ministry of Education and implemented also by many at the local level, including, of course, here, the community and teachers and parents. The World Bank is really proud and humbled to be supporting this engagement through some of our financing and our advice.
Zambia and Tanzania have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening cross-border trade following the convening of the second bilateral meeting on the Simplified Trade Regime (STR) for the Nakonde-Tunduma border posts. The meeting delegates from the two countries to focus on boosting the participation of small-scale cross-border traders with particular attention to women and youth. Over the next 3 days, the delegations are expected to review progress, address operational challenges, and agree on practical measures to improve the implementation of the STR. The Joint Technical Committee meeting, co-chaired by Billy Malinjani from the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry and Frank Kabika from Tanzania's Ministry of Industry and Trade, is laying the groundwork for the Joint Steering Committee scheduled for December 19. Zambian officials say the simplified trade regime remains a critical tool for promoting predictable and transparent trade procedures, while their Tanzanian counterparts have praised the continued cooperation between the two countries, describing it as key to deepening regional integration and enhancing trade facilitation for broader and broader communities.
So for us, this STR is an important tool to support small cross-border traders, especially for women and youth, through predictable, transparent, and simplified procedures. So, and I believe through this Joint Technical Committee and the Steering Committee meeting that is going to follow in 2 days' time, we'll be able to translate our commitments from the agreements that we signed a few years back into practical actions and identifying the operational challenges that we are facing right now, and also agreeing on actionable solutions so that whatever bottlenecks we can see or identify are addressed right here, and also then translate these into actions on the ground. So for the next 3 days, from my side and hopefully from your side, our expectations is that we are all focused and committed to make sure that all the issues that will be raised on both sides of the table are addressed, and also we prepare an action matrix that we will submit to our superiors on Friday with very concrete actions and deliverables to make sure that this STR is implemented to its fullest. So with those few remarks, Chair, I hand over back to you. Thank you.
Tanzania and the Republic of Zambia, we are deeply grateful to the Zambian delegation for honoring our invitation, and this meeting builds upon the solid foundation laid during the first bilateral engagement, where collectively reaffirmed our commitment to strengthen cross-border trade and advancing the effective implementation of the simplified trade regime. The progress made.
That marks the end of the news. In case you missed, President Hichilema assents Bill 7 into law, calls for unity and inclusive governance. Terrorism charge added in Chingola presidential attack case. DEC arrest 5 FRA staff over 770,000 kwacha maize fraud. Health workers recruitment open to all as government scraps old database. On this crew, my name is Kondwelani Jose. Good evening.
Mubuyu Christian Academy, girls only boarding school located near Sandy Beach in Siavonga. Mubuyu Christian Academy is now enrolling for Form 1 and Grade 10 pupils. So all girls who have just completed their Grade 7 and Grade 9 exams must take this opportunity to receive high-performance Christian-based holistic education. Help your girl child reach their full potential. Call 0976 386184. When you think girl child education, think Mubuyu Christian Academy.
Ethos and a firm belief in an all-encompassing Christian education for your child? Then look no further. At Gospel Outreach Christian Academy, we make the educational experience of your child as rewarding as possible, offering an excellent reading program that gets our reception